Thank you, thank you. Before I start my message this morning, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because this is the first week of my second year.
Yay! Isn't that
awesome? And I just want to tell you how much I love you all. I mean, and how much I appreciate your support. And I'm so glad you chose me to be your minister. So I'm just absolutely inspired by the way you show up, by the way you love, by the way you shine your light.
The feeling's mutual.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And now the message. We have some very important choices to make this week. Some very important choices. Now, our first choice is whether or not to vote. Now, it's not too late to register if you haven't, and I would imagine that most of you have already made this choice. Mm-hmm. But I got to be part of making a video that we're going to see in just a second, and it not only encourages us to vote, but it encourages us to speak with R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Let's see.
Your voice and your vote count.
Your voice is strong.
Your voice is love.
Love.
Am I doing it right?
Sometimes on our spiritual path, we can become disenchanted.
Disenchanted.
And choose not to participate in the politics of our time.
One way to inspire your participation
Is to have ministers.
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 And then some more ministers.
Reverends, doctors.
Almost too many ministers.
Let's remember that the way we vote is the way we are being.
Are you leaning out?
Or are you leaning in?
Is there too much drama?
Too much noise.
Too much divisiveness.
Do you wish you were Canadian?
Your election of your president is more impactful on my country than the election of our own prime minister.
Remember that just as
Every vote counts.
in the outcome of an election
Every opinion we cast into the debate.
has a ripple effect.
Ripple effect.
Ripple effect.
If we love anger, bitterness, and hatred towards others,
We create strife and stress.
On Facebook.
If we show and open-mindedness,
We contribute to a public discussion that is more thoughtful and clear.
Treat others as you would have them treat you.
And speak to others as you would have them speak to you.
I prefer to be spoken to in a whisper.
There doesn't have to be animosity, spite, bitterness, and revenge.
if we disagree with each other,
There can be consideration and respect that opens the collective thought to what is doable.
and to what serves the collective good.
Participate.
participate in the public debate with love.
Honor and with respect.
And consideration.
It makes all the difference as we work to achieve oneness.
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 We must engage with one another.
As a community and as a nation.
This vote is about the world itself.
As members of an awakening community and nation,
It's our time.
It's our time to lean in with open eyes
And open hearts.
To the messy, chaotic,
Yet important work of democracy.
Your engagement and your vote matter more now than ever.
this is the time that calls each of us to express the truth of our oneness.
Oh, that was wonderful.
So whether or not to vote, and even who to vote for, those are just some of the choices that we need to make in this coming week. There's another really, really important choice, and that's how will we deal with the results of the election? How will we react or respond as people who are aware spiritually, who are on our spiritual path? How will we take this into the coming weeks and months? If Donald Trump wins, there will be fear, frustration, and anger. If Hillary Clinton wins, there will be fear, frustration, and anger. Folks on both sides of this contest are fearful of the outcome, fearful of what will happen if the other candidate wins. And yet on November 9th, on Wednesday morning, we are going to wake up and one of them will have prevailed. Now, what we do with that is really, really important. Election rate caused stress is said to be so much higher this year than ever before in any presidential election. People are passionate. People feel so strongly. People just want their candidate to win. And it hasn't all been nice. It has been a divisive campaign. And we are hoping that we will all be able to come together as a country afterwards. Our topic this morning is wholeness and gratitude. So how can we bring wholeness and gratitude, the energy of wholeness and gratitude, into this coming time? How can we be the ones that are going to shepherd in a time of reconciliation? Now, this morning I'm talking about this whole after the election thing, but if you happen to be one of the people who is like completely at peace with all of this, everything I say can be translated into any other challenge in your life. Maybe it's a relationship, a challenge at work, anything. All of this is true, and you can translate it into what you needed, just in case you're one of the few people that is like totally copacetic with the whole election thing. So, the Science of Mind point of view is that there is only one life. That life is perfect and whole. All creation, including each of us, is an expression of that one life. It is what is living as us. It is what is existing and having its creative way with us. And so let's look at wholeness as we do in Science of Mind, because wholeness isn't, and perfection, they're not those human things of wholeness and perfection. It's not like, oh, everything is just perfect. It's a wholeness and perfection that says that our lives and the life of our country is determined by spiritual principles and spiritual laws. Ernest Holmes said these things about wholeness. There is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of the universal wholeness, or God. He also said, and I think this is really important, the potential of all things exists in the universal wholeness. So it's not that everything is perfect. It's not that Pollyanna view. It's that when we follow the spiritual laws, what we get is what we have created. So the wholeness and perfection is showing us that as a country, as a nation, we have put out the kind of divisive vibes that have gotten us where we are now. So this law, this spiritual principle is working. Now, of course, it's not just what any one individual experiences or thinks or believes that affects the entire thing. It's the preponderance of all of the thoughts, all of the beliefs of all of us who are part of this country, who are part of this political cycle. And yet, each one of us is a part of that. It's like dripping clean water into a bucket of dirty water. if enough of us drip those drops of peace, of clarity into that water, the quality of the water will change without doubt. So we are made as co-creators with the divine. We're here to create and to evolve. We're here to create and evolve as individuals and as a nation. We are going through our process. What we're experiencing is perfect and whole in that it follows the spiritual principles that what we create with our thoughts, we create in our reality, whether or not we like it. The good news is that because we are always creating, we are always evolving, we can recreate. Anything that we have created, we can create again. We can change. We can bring new energy and new life into what has been experienced. And that is what I'm hoping that we can do. That is what I am knowing that we can do. That somehow the divisiveness, somehow the turbulence, the turmoil will create something new. Somehow it is birthing something new in our country and in our lives. And our topic this morning is wholeness and gratitude. So how can we bring gratitude into this? Well, I, for one, am grateful that anything that's been created can be recreated. I am grateful that we are not done with this process. I am grateful, grateful, grateful that we get to choose where to go from here. Now, there, of course, will be great gratitude and relief for those whose candidate wins. Great gratitude. And there will be great gratitude, I think, and relief for all of us when it's over. Just when it's over. But let's think about, for a moment, about your candidate winning. So what I invite you to imagine is that you're waking up on Wednesday morning and your candidate has won. So as you feel the relief, how are you hoping those on the other side will respond? What's your highest dream, your most positive way of looking at what can happen? What are the possibilities? Can you feel that? Can you feel that if your candidate wins, that those on the other side can somehow be at peace and participate in the rebuilding and the reconciliation of our country? I'm hoping that you can. Now I'm going to ask you to take a big leap. Are you willing to do that with me?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to use your wild imagination, your creative imagination, and visualize that same kind of positive healing and coming together if the other candidate wins. Now, feel free to call in some big magic if that's what it takes.
That's what you need.
Feel free to do that. Because what I'm asking you to do is to imagine that even if the other candidate wins, whoever that other candidate is for you, peace and healing and reconciliation are possible. If we can even start to believe that. We are the ones that get to start to hold that knowing. Healing is possible, no matter who wins. And we are the participants. The way we talk with other people, the way we respond to what we watch on the news, whether we watch it or not, the way we talk on Facebook, if that's what we do, or on other social media. The energies that we put out are incredibly, incredibly powerful. And they do impact what's happening in our country. They really, really do. I'm going to say when. When enough of us accept and embody the possibility of peace and unity in our nation in the next weeks and months, that is what we'll see. We have a ways to go. It seems that we have a long way to go. But we can do it. You with me on this?
Yes.
We can do it. The Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu have both faced far worse than what's happening in our country in our political arena. They've experienced oppression and exile, and yet they have maintained their consciousness of forgiveness and compassion. Forgiveness and compassion, despite all that they've endured. But the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu understand that the fear and the anger and the hurt and all of those other things, they're not just out there, but they do live within each of us in some degree. And it's how much we focus on that determines what's going to happen, how we're going to show up in the world, how much peace we're going to bring to the conversations that we have. If an entire country, South Africa, can shift from the decades-long system of apartheid into some acceptance and peace, I think we can pull this off, folks. I really, really do. Because what happened in apartheid was people began to let go of their judgments. They began to listen to each other, to truly listen with their hearts, with open minds. They listened to the experiences. They listened to the pain. And as they listened, you know what they realized? We are all pretty much the same. We want the same things for our families. We want the same things in our lives. I believe we all, at some level, want the same thing, peace in our nation and in the world. So we believe in the intrinsic goodness of humanity and that each of us has the power to begin to bring about the needed healing. And that's where the work is. It's within ourselves. And so I have some suggestions that I have gathered together. The Dalai Lama suggests that we each spend 5 minutes at the beginning of each day remembering that we all want the same thing. We all want to be loved. We all want love. And we are all connected. Whether we feel it or not, there is just one life that moves through all of us. One planet that we live on. One thing, one essence that connects us all. And Desmond Tutu counsels us to cope with fear and animosity like dishwashers, not vacuum cleaners. What he says is, if the dirt is there, wash it off. Get rid of it. Do not suck it up and retain it. Because that's what vacuum cleaners do. You know, we don't want to hold on to it. We want to release it in whatever way we can release it. Whoever loses this election, the side that loses, is going to be hurt. There's going to be hurt and anger and disappointment. I suspect it's even going to feel like the loss of a loved one. A major thing. It'll be an enormous loss for the candidates and for all of those who've worked in their campaigns and who have been passionate about it. And what we can bring to this, no matter which side we are on, is compassion. Compassion fosters healing. And since we know the amazing power of intention, we can use intention. Now I'm going to ask the ushers to pass little baskets of hearts, and I invite you each to take one. There might be a basket that's in that offering basket. Yeah. Now, these are hearts that are made from some stuff that's called sculpey. It's oven-baked clay. And I love to make these hearts. I squish the colors together, and as I make them, each one gets blessed. Each one gets blessed. So once everyone has one, everybody have one? Okay. So as Karen continues to play some gentle music, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable. Breathe deeply and let your attention move into your heart, the one that's in your chest. Feel the warmth of your heart. Notice that life is pulsing through you as your heartbeat. Feel that. And give thanks for your life. And sense the place within your heart that is perfectly designed to give and receive caring and love. For that is within each of us. And from that heart place, I invite you to affirm your intention, your willingness to be a healing presence in the weeks and months to come. We can choose to believe that healing is possible. We can choose to believe that we can be part of the healing. We can choose peace and compassion and love. And now I invite you to infuse that little heart that you are holding with your intention. Infuse it with your willingness and your peace and your compassion and your love. Let those energies just sink into that little heart so that you can draw on them later. Fill it with the amazing energy of your intention. Now how once you've infused your little heart with your intention, you can carry it around in your pocket, or you can put it on your altar if you have an altar. You can put it someplace else where you will see it and be reminded that you are a healing presence in the world. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and feel the amazing energy in the room. I'm going to close with a quote by one of my minister friends, Reverend Cindy Cote. And here's what she says. As we truly live in alignment with the one power, we model for others the fruits of the spiritual evolutionary path. Gently and powerfully, we light the way for an illumined world to emerge, one precious soul after another. Allowing Spirit to inform others by our example, we invite genuine love and authentic living to inspire the awakening of all humanity to their spiritual evolution. And as practitioners stand with me in high consciousness, let's just take that into prayer. And so here we are, expressions of the one divine life that lives in, through, and as us, that gives us the choice of what we will think, how we will speak, what we will believe, how we will be in the world. And this is powerful. For what we put into the energy of our nation is important. And so what I absolutely declare is that as we go forward this week, it is in compassion, in love, in knowing and believing in the possibility of reconciliation and peace. And so we take it with us wherever we go, blessing those around us, whichever side they're on, blessing all of the outcomes, blessing all of the candidates, all of the issues, knowing that we, as humanity, as a country, we are in an evolutionary process that is unfolding and leading us to a greater expression. And so what I call forth for our country, for each of us as we go forward, is a healing. A healing that opens doors for each of us and all of us to express our greatness, our magnificence. And so I know that because I have spoken these words, they have gone into the law, that part of God that has all the stuff and all the know-how that can make absolutely anything happen, come true. Anything can be manifested. And so knowing that, I know that what has been spoken is already in action, blessing us, blessing the world, supporting our nation. And so in gratitude, I know that I can just let it go. Let it go and say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is.
We all want peace. We all want healing, and we know it begins with you and me. But sometimes when we're really tired, we don't feel so strong. I heard a song that keeps coming back to me. need to be still and let God love me. Need to be still and let God love me. When this whole world feels like it's really pushing and shoving me, I need to be still and let God love me. We need to relax, let God take over. Need to relax, let God take over. When this whole world seems way too heavy on your shoulders, relax, be still, let God take over. When there's trouble all around, does your soul cry out for rest? Do you feel like you might be failing even though you've done your best? And it all feels so heavy, and there are answers that we need. That's when we just sit back, take a deep breath, and be still, and let God love you and me. I need to be still, let God love me. Need to be still and let God love me. When this whole world starts to push and shove me, need to be still and let God love me. Remember, we are all one mind. We're gonna come out fine, even if it takes a little time. Let God